Hi, I'm Reb Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 44 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, and I'm asking Jesus to clarify for me, and then I write from that clarity. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So let's get started. We're looking at review 4, our fourth review, and we're going to look at the review introduction and the lesson 141. As I read Review 4, so beautifully written and deeply important, I realized something subtle but essential. My focus had quietly shifted toward understanding and remembering the lessons as tasks to complete. Yet the review calls me to something more, to recognize the immense value of each lesson, to truly receive the gift it offers. This shift feels especially relevant to me now because I've committed not just to doing the lessons, but to contemplating them, sharing what I receive, and recording and posting that sharing. As a result, the structure and timing have often occupied my attention, sometimes even causing worry. This review spoke directly to that concern, gently guiding my attention back to the real purpose, receiving the gift in each lesson. This paragraph especially touched me. My mind holds only what I think with God. That is perfect and represents the truth of who you are and what your Father is. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, establishing the Son as co-creator with himself. It is this thought that fully guarantees salvation to the Son. For in his mind, no thoughts can dwell but those his Father shares. Lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from his awareness, yet it is forever true. If you haven't read the review, I strongly recommend doing that first. It's very rich. Okay, so let's look at the review lesson. My mind holds only what I think with God. Forgiveness is the key to happiness. Forgiveness offers everything I want. The central idea, my mind holds only what I think with God, initially seems untrue. For a long time, my mind appeared to hold mostly what is not true, and even now, untrue thoughts arise. But if they're not true, do they really exist? What God did not create does not exist. So the thoughts I think, egoic illusions, are merely meaningless ideas. In truth, the mind is blank. Therefore, my mind does hold only what I think with God. These thoughts are always present, even if I allow ego thoughts to obstruct them. They are simply hidden from awareness. Can you imagine the joy that will arise when we fully open our hearts to God? I try to imagine the thoughts I share with God, and I realize that they are beyond anything I have yet imagined. But I can forgive the false thoughts, clearing the way for God's thoughts to return to my awareness. What could compare with open and continuous communion with our Creator? Think on this for a while. And so, each one will bring the message of His love to you, returning messages of yours to Him. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as He Himself has willed it be. And as His own completion joins with Him, so will He join with you who are complete as you unite with Him, and He with you. This is why forgiveness offers me everything I want. This morning, as I prepared to do the lesson, I glanced at my cat's litter box and had the meaningless thought, she's just so much trouble. That was an unforgiven thought blocking my communication with God. Later, I realized I'd made a scheduling mistake and felt anxious. I feared that one day I might forget too many things to live independently. That too was a senseless idea, an inspired leap into an unknown future. Sorry, it wasn't inspired, it was an imagined. It was an imagined leap into an unknowable future. It was not a thought I think with God, and so I will not let it displace the glorious communion with God I could have instead. So today, I began by sitting quietly for 5 minutes, allowing the idea that my mind holds only what I think with God to settle deep into my being. Then, with gratitude, I will contemplate the two truths offered in the lesson and carry them with me throughout the day, keeping my mind aligned with God's. As I do, I remember that with appreciation, all my fellow course students doing the same. I can only imagine the power of our shared desire to heal. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that you found it helpful, and please bear with me in my errors. Sometimes I make it so, especially when I'm doing this toward the end of the day. But if you found it helpful anyway, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.